Okay, this will be the final lecture of Unit 3. This is the garbage can model, and this is by Gary Mucciarone. And this was sort of a response to a frustrated professor's university administration in the 70s. So interesting, you know. And he basically said the way that you make policy around here is garbage, you know, and it's completely random, and it's interesting. There are problems with this model, which we'll talk about. Okay, the idea comes from Cohen in 1972 to describe again his university institution's decision-making process. And it was adopted by Kingdon in the mid 80s to discuss sort of overarching policy in general, right? And so this is a really macro level theory that's talking about the system itself, right? Um, and it theorizes sort of at the systemic level and incorporates the decision or the system as the unit of analysis, right? Very macro. And this is sort of a piecemeal approach of the stream model from chapter 23, where you have the sort of three different streams going, right? The problem solutions and then participants. Okay, so I wanted to take a little time to focus on each of these, right? What is in the problems stream, right? Generally, this comes from sort of social indicators. This will be like rising crime rates or rising prison populations or rising disease incidents, right? Like, I don't know, measles lately, or when we first saw COVID hitting the scene, right? Um, or it could be of what they call a focusing event, like a crisis, right? 9/11, the 2008 market crash, these sorts of things. Okay, solutions. What is in this stream, right? And they say basically this is the area where we have the gradual accumulation of knowledge and perspectives among specialists in a given area. Um, and again, we sort of criticize that entire like expertise piece of where we find that they're not all that important in most cases unless it's something we just don't know much about, or maybe it's sort of something at the diplomatic level. But so yeah, but this is where dissemination of the data happens. This is where all of the appraisal and analysis and sort of the feedback of information happens. Expert advice, right? This is where we sort of package our solutions, right? What is the policy going to look like? Um, and then this is the agenda setting area where we talk about possible solutions, all of those sorts of things. Okay. Third, the politics and participants or actors, as economics usually calls them. In this stream, we have public opinion, right? We have interest groups, non-governmental organizations, corporations, all of these sorts of things. We have lobbyists, and then we also have sort of what is the belief architecture of the decision-making process of individual politicians, right? Um, what is the ideology? And what is, say, like in the US, what does the um, presidential versus Congress mix up look like? Right now, we have a Republican president, Republican Senate, Republican House. That's supposed to make policymaking easier, right? But when you get splits, and one of the difficulties right now is the margins are so razor thin in the House, like one seat for the Republican majority. And so these sorts of things can influence the politics, right? What are the veto points? We've hammered on in this class, right? And then what does media framing look like? Um, and all three, the argument is in the garbage can model, which is a problematic argument, is that all three have to somehow align for policy to be implemented or changed, right? All right. What are the criticisms of the garbage can model? One, falsifiability. If you cannot falsify something, it is not science, right? Uh, this is the realm of philosophy and theory and religion and these sorts of things, right? Science is based around the idea that you can test an argument and you can falsify the theory through observation and experimentation and analysis and these sorts of things, right? And so this is one of the difficulties of a field that calls itself political science is that we need falsifiable approaches, right? Or otherwise we're just it's discourse or I don't know. Okay. So they need what they're saying here is we need far more theoretical focus to understand what the theoretical cause effect chains are going to be so that we can observe and test, right? All right. Number two, situational versus structural levels of analysis. And so this model they're contending, one of the criticisms is that it's a lot better at explaining timing of when those streams align rather than how or why the agenda changes, right? And so, in a sense, that is helpful, right? But it's less of sort of a okay in physics, the unified theory, right? It's not that. It's sort of a particularized look at the timing of these things. Um, okay. I had a thought that it's it sounds a little bit, though very different from the punctuated equilibrium model, and maybe there might be a way to combine the two. It would be a cool graduate project if any of you sort of go forward. But yeah, there looks to be, at least on the surface level, an analogous approach to the streams all coming into alignment somehow and the punctuated equilibrium model of this is when we get these sort of stochastic random moments of big policy change, right? So, yeah, something deeper to be explored. Okay. Uh, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Some of these have been very long, so I'm trying to shorten up the last ones. Thanks for being here. I'll get you papers immediately. And if you need anything, please reach out. Have a great day.